Hello everyone, it's Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. Today I am on a right rant, but I will tell you about that after. I'll tell you some of the things first. And as you can see, I'm busy knitting. This is the last size on the 3x1 mock rib. I did have a 24-inch PDF, which is what this one is. But when I started working out this new PDF for all the sizes, and I looked at the PDF for the 24-inch, I had a lot less stitches on that one than I am doing. Actually, the number of stitches I had for the back was 71, which is what I did for the 22 on this one. So I just worked out the 22 from the 24 size, but just made it a bit shorter in the length and sleeves and that. And so I am knitting a 24 before I send the PDF out. But I have done, I will show you what I have done. This is the splash again. This is the it's bluey green ones. It's lovely, this one. I like this one myself. But I'm doing this one, it'll probably be for a little boy, because I think these sizes, that's probably more colour for a little boy. Oh, but I don't know, little girls can wear them as well, but it will be up for a little boy. And that's how it comes out. The stripes come out a little bit narrower because it is 77 stitches. I had the last one, the little pink one I did, that was only a 20-inch. And the stripes were quite wide on this one, but that one only had, have a look at my book, how many stitches I had out for that one. I only had 65 stitches for that size, where this size was 77 stitches, so the stripes are narrower and more closer together, which is quite nice actually. So the larger you do this, the narrower the stripes will be. And that was the back, and then I did a sleeve because I've only got 2 balls and I wasn't absolutely certain that I was going to have enough. So what I do when I'm not sure of things like that, I mean, it's, you know, the trouble, I would have to pull it out if I didn't. But I did a sleeve because you do a back and a sleeve, and that's sort of nearly half of the cardigan. So you'd have the front and another sleeve, which is equivalent to the back and the sleeve. And as it's a V-neck, there'll be a little bit less. A button-up would take a bit more, but being a V-neck, there's not as much in the front as well. And I did have that much left afterwards, so I know there's plenty for to do the 24 out of 2 balls. And the same with the sleeve, even the sleeve that well, I like saying there's more stitches that come out narrow and that. So as soon as I finish that, I can probably work it out before I actually sew it up and put the band on, because once I've done the front, I can work out from the bottom of the front up to the neck shaping, the inches, and then from the neck shaping up to the top. That'll tell me how many stitches I need to put on for the band, and then I just have to add the stitches for the sleeves and the neck and do exactly the opposite to the other side. So that's all I need to do. I can work that out once I've done one of these fronts. I can work the PDF and then I can sort it out and start printing it out. But it does take quite a while to print it out. So that was that. And I have been doing a little bit, not as much crochet. Get my knitting. I had to stop crocheting for a couple of days from the last time, I think the last video I was doing, because I was getting a pain in my hand. This is the hand, my right hand, that's the hand that I do the crochet with. And this happens now and again for me. It doesn't happen in knitting. I don't know why it happens in crochet, but I don't know that it's because I do twisting my hand around when I'm putting a crochet hook in and twist the thing around. But I was getting shooting pains up my hand, so I had to give up the crochet for a couple of days more or less. But I did manage to finish the bag off this morning, just the crochet part, and I'm going to show you the little video how I've sorted out the lining for it. And I'll just show you a little video to show what I have to do in that now. This is how the bag is coming along. I have pinned material, and as you can see here, I've got seam here and seam there. We had to join bits of material together to get the same. While I had a lot of fat squares, I did not have two, because one was not long enough to fit the whole bag. And I did not have two of the same, except these one with the donuts on. I had a few pieces, so I managed to cut them out and sew the seams. And when I do it, this bit here, those bits, that bit there is going to go down stitched onto there. When I finally stitch it, and that bit there will be stitched onto there, and then the two seams up here, they will be stitched together. There's a knitting needle. It's just wide enough, because that is the base there, that's the base. And it measures 14, just a little bit more than 14 inches. So when I sew these two bits down, these seams here, that's as far as I'll go where the needle comes to. But I know that Emma doesn't like long needles, so her needles probably aren't as long, because they are 14-inch needles, or 35 centimetres, I think that is. But I am going to have to sew this, all of this by hand, because I am not going to take the chance that my sewing machine might lock up. It is thicker than what I normally use on my sewing machine, and I have tried to sew something this thick once before, and it knocked my stitch out of sync. That's what you describe it. And it took me quite a long time to get it fixed, fixed free by my husband and my son to fix it. So that's what it looks like, and I am not going to do any more on that today. That is all I'm doing on that today, because it's all hand sewn to do. And then I'm going to have to make, I've left enough room at the top for the slot the handles through. I might wind up and make them like rope handles with the wool that I have left. And then when I finish that, I will be doing the bag for the needles for Emma. And please do not ask anyone, do not ask me to make one for them, because this is one and only. I will not be doing any more of these. I do not like making these. I like to just crochet things. The only things I will do that have a lining in normally, or little bags for crochet hooks and things like that. Only Emma asked me to do these, and she's the only person I'm ever going to do anything like this for. So that is how far I have got with the bag, but I'm not going to sit and stitch that up today. It'll probably be tomorrow. It took me quite a while to sort it out, because I had to join pieces of material together, because I didn't have a piece big enough in the same material, and I would have needed two pieces for to fit the thing. But I had the lining that I did put on, I had a few pieces, and I just stitched them together and made the lining for it. But I'm going to leave it, because like I said in the video, I am not going to trust my sewing machine to sew it, because it is thicker than what I normally sew on my machine. And if it knocks the stitches out of sync, I'll have to pay to get that machine fixed, because my husband is no longer around and my son doesn't live up this area. So I've only one son. I've got three sons, but there's only one son that would be capable of doing something like that the right. The other two are like white collar workers. But anyway, that's it for that. And now on to my rant. I couldn't believe this. I finished knitting this row, because I have it written down, because it was a certain comment and it disappeared. I finished knitting this row, and I'll put my knitting down and I'll explain what I'm ranting about. I wrote it down when I seen this comment, because I had a feeling it might disappear. especially after I answered the comment. This was from someone called Darren Foster. So if you're watching this, Darren, take note. He put a comment on my video, the last video I did, I think it was. And he says, hello, why so expensive if you got the wool for free? You know, that was like putting a red flag in front of a bull. I just blew my top. My star sign is Taurus the bull. So I answered his comment. I put, Darren, I hope your wife is a knitter and refuses you sex for the rest of your life because she has been knitting for 10 hours every day and is too tired. And when I looked again, that comment had disappeared. So I don't know, it's probably him that's took it off, I would imagine. I don't know whether he's a subscriber. I hope he's not. We can do without subscribers like that. But just for him, I am breaking up what is paid. You know, I am charging £15 for that cardigan. It was knitted with wool that was sent to me by Kate from the last homely house, which has sent me quite a lot of things. Kate, she's a very nice lady. And so for your information, Darren, even with that free wool, I would have to pay £2.22 to eBay. That's if I don't have that 80% off selling fees. I would have to pay £3.49 for postage. And the buttons I do buy in bulk, because buttons do cost you at least £2 for about 10 buttons. And I buy them in bulk, so I get them a little bit cheaper. But these buttons were free as well. Were sent to me by I think it was Linda. They were sent free anyway. Or Lynn, is it Lynn? Sent by Lynn? They were sent to me free, but they would have worked out about 32 pence each for the 4 buttons it was. So that comes to £6.03. Now I'm charging £15 for that cardigan. And out of that £15, I would take that £6.03 off, and I would have got £8.97 for about 20 hours work. It took me 2 days to knit that cardigan, and I worked it out. It was around about 20 hours, about 10 hours each day, because I do like to stop for meals and for coffee breaks and tea breaks. But I normally knit from about 10 o'clock in the morning until midnight. Like I'm saying, I do have, you know, hour off here and there for meals and things like that. But I got £8.97. But if I had bought that wool would have cost me £6.30. That's how much those balls of wool were. £3.65 a ball. So if I had charged that very expensive £15, I would have got £2.67 out of that. And then when I fill in my tax returns, I have incoming and outgoing. And incoming is whatever I get paid from eBay, from YouTube, PayPal. Quite a few people send me donations to PayPal, some for my knitting patterns and other things. And some of them just because they like me, they give me a donation now and again. And all that goes onto my incomings on my tax return. And all the things that I buy, any wool, knitting needles, crochet hooks, even things for my printer now, because I am printing out patterns. If I buy ink, which I'm probably going to have to because I've been printing out an awful lot of patterns, and all the paper I buy for my printer, which is quite expensive as well. I think it cost me about £5 for the last lot of paper I got was about £5 for 250 sheets of the paper, because it is a little bit thicker than normal ordinary printing paper, because I like the thicker stuff for making the pattern. So all that would be under expenses. You know, anything else you can claim for expenses, But because that wool is given to me free, I can't claim that under expenses. Darren, right? Have you got that? Why I am so expensive? I like rubbing it in, I do. I'm putting that down now. So I hope your ears are burning, Darren, because I'm talking about you. And something else I would like to add. I was contacted by a knitwear firm quite recently, and they asked me to knit, if I would think about knitting for them. I had no intentions of taking them up on their offer. I'm happy doing what I'm doing, just selling what I can, knit what I can, and selling what I can. And I looked on the site of this knitwear firm just out of curiosity, and there wasn't a single thing under £250, all hand knitted things. And I would imagine there's a lot of hand knitters like me doing that. And I don't know how much they would have got paid for that, but I used to do knitting years ago when I had my knitting machine. And I used to knit for a firm then, only because my husband was quite ill at the time. He had asthma all his life, and it started affecting his heart when he got older. And he used to lose a lot of time from work because sometimes he just couldn't get into work, and sometimes when he was on the sick, you know, we just weren't getting enough to get by on. So I used to do my machine knitting and sell. I had a lot of friends, worked in factories and things like that, and they used to sell things for me in the factories and that. And I was working, I started knitting for this company at the time that must have seen some of my work and that, and I started knitting for them because I was getting a little bit more than what I was getting, you know, for the work myself. But it wasn't a lot. And as soon as my husband was fit enough to get back to work again, I just told him to get lost. In so many words, I could make more actually doing it myself. So that was just another reason why I like to do what I do. I'm not in any hurry, and when I'm just knitting things, this is another reason I am not taking any orders off anybody, so please don't ask. At the moment, because the finer weather's coming on and I want to get out into my garden and do things that need my garden and just keep the evenings for my knitting. Probably when I finish this cardigan I'm doing, it'll be the last thing I'll probably be knitting during the day for quite some time. Because we're getting some lovely sunny day today. I could be out in the garden, but I do want to finish this, so that's it. What I like to do. So, thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So, bye for now.